Hey everyone, welcome back. In the last video, we covered Terraform loops in theory. Count 4 and 4 each. Now let's actually build it live on AWS, real EC2 instance, real S3 bucket, real code. So let's go. For that, I'm opening my VS Studio code. Let's search here. I have already opened. So these are VS Studio code. So first we have to set up our directory structure, and I'm giving some name loops in TF. Okay, I give the name loops in Terraform, and let's create the files. First one is main.tf, second one is variable.tf, third one is output.tf, fourth one is provider.tf. And do we need any other file? So let's see. So do we need any other file? So I think no. Let's start from the variable.tf as we always do. So we have to define some variable only, like 2 and 3. So variable, and you can give the EC2 environment as we are creating S3 bucket and the EC2 instance. Give some name, description, list of env drives, EC2 count. You can give any description. Next we have to give the type. Type will be list, or list has the string type, data type. Basically default, I have given the default values dev and prod. Dev comma, so let's leave it dev and prod currently. We will do some changes later on if required. So next variable is variable instance type, and instance type will be, you can give the description EC2 instance type, and then you can give some type, means data type, which is a string. And next is default value. Default, I am going with the T3 micro. If you have the free tier, you can use that free tier. You can create the T2 micro. I don't have free tier actually. Next we are going to create the S3. So for that we need the environment map. So variable environment, and you have to give some description map of env to bucket. Okay, we are going to use the as a suffix or prefix. First drives the S3 using for each basically. Okay, next is type. The type, as we know, it is going to be mapped. So map string here, and put the sign equal in between of type and map, and then give some default value. Default for dev, let's give a d1. For prod, let's give a p1, and for stage, double quote, let's give a s1. Just save it. So that's all we have to do in variable.tf. Let's go to the next file. Okay, next file is provider.tf. It should be provider.tf, not providers.tf. Rename it provider.tf, and here we are going to create our Terraform block. Inside the Terraform block we need the required providers, and then AWS equal, it asks for 2 arguments. First one is source, and source will be HashiCorp/AWS, and version will be, as always we give tilde symbol, then greater than, then 5.0. So this is the latest one I think. And then you have to give the provider will be AWS, and here you have to give the region. You can take as a variable. Let's do hard coded US East 1. Just save it. So that's all you have to do into the provider.tf. Let's go to the main.tf. So these are main.tf, and here we are going to create the resource block. So we are creating S3 bucket and the EC2 instance. For that we need the 2 resource block. So let's start resource, and you have to give the resource type. So it was instance, and then local resource name. It could be anything. I'm giving the app server. You can give anything, and then count equal, and we have a length for the this variable EC2 environment. Let's copy the EC2 environment and where dot paste here, and remove this comma. So that's all. Next you have to give the AMI. Okay, we have not defined the AMI variable. For that we have to pick from the AWS console itself. So let's open the console, open this EC2, click on launch instance. Okay, copy this AMI. I'm going with the Ubuntu, so let's copy the Ubuntu one and copy this AMI. Copy, and now just paste it here in the double quote because it's a string. So just paste it. Okay, next is instance type equal where dot instance types. So our EC2 is created, but we have to give name, so we can specify the difference between both the EC2 instance. So for that we have to use the tags, and then curly braces, and you have to give the key, which is name, and you can give name as it is, and then you can give some name, Python DevOps colon, and then use the dollar symbol. Okay, why do we use the dollar symbol? Because we are putting this into the, let's close this, into the double quote, that is our string dollar, and then where dot ec2 environment. Just paste it what I've copied, sorry, just copy from here, copy where dot ec2 environment. Okay, then we need the indexes, that is value of 0 or 1, because ec2 environment we got this variable, and we need the value. For the dev we need the 0, for prod we need the 1. So where dot, and how do we fetch it? Using square bracket, then you have to use the count keyword and dot index. So that's all you have to do. So we will get Python DevOps dev, Python DevOps prod. Okay, so that's all. You can set the environment as well, if you want to, like env equal, and give where dot ec2 environment, and same square bracket count dot index. We got the environment, dev for dev, prod for prod. Okay, so that's how you can use the count loop or count keyword in case of Terraform. Next we are going to create the S3 bucket, and for that we are going to use the for each loop. So let's create the resource block, and then give the resource type AWS S3 bucket, get this one, and then give the local resource name. You can give any name. I'm giving app bucket, and then here the real story start for each equal, we have an environment map. For that just copy this thing, copy where dot environment map. Okay, then you have to give the bucket name. So bucket name will be bucket, and then string, and the string has Python DevOps, let's give buck. And then how do you fetch the these value, which value? The map values like d1, p1, s1, these value. For that you have to use the each dot key, because we are fetching the keys. These are the keys, these are the value. So for that let's give the dollar symbol, and then curly braces, and then each dot, not the value, each dot key. Okay, so that's all you have to do. And then you can give the tags, and the tags can be name. Name will be, let's copy this thing as it is, let's close this. Okay, just copy this thing, copy and paste here, it's already copied. And then you have to give the env. Env will be each dot. If you want to give the other value, then you can give suffix. Suffix will be each dot value. So that's all. Anything else? So let's go to the output block. Output is important one, because here we are going to use the what is called the for loop or for in Terraform. But before that, how it's worked? For each, we define the for each. We got the environment map. Environment map fetch the keys and value both, so we have to use the key only. So for that we have to use the each dot key, which we have discussed in the theory video as well. For the value we have to use the each dot value. So that's how you can use the for loop. So let's go to the output.tf. Okay, so next is output.tf. For output we are going to print few values only. So start from the output. Okay, ec2 instance IDs, we are going to print both the IDs. So how we will do that? Okay, you have to give value equal AWS instance dot app server. Okay, why that? We got both the things, means both the IDs, app server of the AWS instances. But here we are creating the two different instances using count loop or the count keyword in Terraform. So for that we have to use the star or the splat operator, as we say, star, and then by that you have to pass the ID. You have to give the dot and then ID, and just close the square bracket. So that's all. You will get the both instance ID. Next you have to print the output for S3 bucket. Let's print the public IP as well. EC2 public, and value is the same way, value AWS instance dot app server. Then you have to give the star here and dot public IP. It's public IP, not EC2 underscore public IP. So output is done. Next we are going to use the for. We have the for each, so we will get the key based value. in case of S3. So we will print the S3 bucket name accordingly. So output and then S3 bucket name and value will be okay. Give the curly braces and then for two things. First in K for key, then comma V for value. In then you have to give the in case of AWS S3 bucket dot app bucket. Okay, we got the key and value in from where? From the this value AWS S3 bucket. Okay, we got two time AWS underscore AWS S3 bucket dot app bucket. Now we have to store this value. So you have to use the colon and then K is for key and same the arrow sorry greater than symbol and then V dot bucket. So we get key according from here to here, that is our key, and value V dot bucket. So that's all you have to do. Next output is same way S3 prod bucket. Okay, we are printing only the prod bucket one, not for the dev stage or any bucket. You can give the value same way AWS S3 bucket dot app bucket, and we are fetching only for the prod. So we have to give the key here, key and then dot bucket. That's all. Let's see the variable. Okay, prod for the P1 we will get. So output.tf is done. Let's run the Terraform commands. Okay, let's run the Terraform minute. For that, open the terminal. I'm increasing the size. Let's copy this path and let's go into the folder cd, paste here, and now run the Terraform init. Terraform. Okay, it's initializing the plugin. We got the version. Okay, it initialized successfully. Now run the Terraform validate to validate the syntax. If we got any error, so it's validated successfully. Now run the plan. It will show you what resources are going to be created by the Terraform itself. Okay, you can see the multiple things. But it's creating the AWS instance and has this AMI known because we have defined the AMI, and there another instance will be created which is for the prod. The above one is for the dev. Okay, next it's going to create the S3 bucket, second S3 bucket, third S3 bucket. So it's going to create the 3 S3 bucket. Let's run the command terraform apply and give the flag auto approve. It's optional. If you won't give it, it will ask you to approve, and you have to type yes. But it's looked not good. Approve. It was correct before. Okay, it's creating the S3 buckets. We got the 3 S3 bucket. Let's go check into the console. S3 and same in the instance cases of instance. So we do not have instance there. So we got 2 instances, and the name is Python DevOps Dev and Prod. Same for the S3 buckets. It just created 1822. So it's 622. That is 1822. That's on June 2. So our resources created. If you want to see the tags, Python bucket dev, and go to the properties, scroll down, tags are there. env dev, name is Python, and the suffix is t1. So we got the key and value. That's how these buckets are created. This is done. We got the public IP, we got the instance IDs, we got the S3 bucket name as well, and we got the S3 bucket prod as well. So that's all in this video, and that's loop. Okay, we got the instance IDs. So instance ID is B02. You can check B02 F3B1 if you want to see the public IP. So these are public IP 34 200 225 238. Same 237 is here, and same you can check the S3 bucket. And if you want to check only for the prod bucket, so we got the prod as well. And that's loop in action. Count for identical resource for each when you need to reference things by name. See, we are using the things by name, like here prod bucket. Then we got the is.key, and key will be our dev stage or prod, whatever. Next up we will do the conditionals. If this help, hit like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Thank you.